Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar and give me a thumbs up if you like the content, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support the ministry and the work that I do, you can do so by PayPal GarethCahoon3 at gmail.com. This one is going to be at least 10 minutes long, if not more, but I'll start off by saying that William Koenig wrote a book called Eye to Eye, and at the bottom of the picture, which you cannot see because my head is in this place, it says the consequences for dividing Israel. Now, Donald Trump, just about 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, went to Davos, Switzerland, which he shouldn't have been there in the first place, because that is a globalized body that wants to control us all. But getting past that, he signed Phase 2 into law and started what he calls the Board of Peace. Now, the Board of Peace should be about peace, but when you've got Vladimir Putin sitting on the Board of Peace, Tayyip Erdogan sitting on the Board of Peace of Turkey, when you've got Xi of China sitting on the Board of Peace, Saudi Arabia sitting on the Board of Peace, Qatar sitting on the Board of Peace, is it really a Board of Peace? Putin is responsible for killing hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, and I'll not even mention what the rest have done. And the Board of Peace is supposed to reconstitute Gaza, build it up, and bring peace to the Middle East. But it would also mean Russia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt possibly even, being on Israel's border. Now, Donald Trump's first term, I believe, was wrecked because in the Abraham Accords there was a stipulation that would have meant that Israel would have been divided. Now, the Board of Peace, despite Israel's objections to having Turkey, Qatar, Russia, and others on the Board of Peace, is making a laughing stock of the Board of Peace. And I'm sorry to say it, but also of Donald Trump. You would have thought he would have learned from his first term that dividing the land doesn't work, that God judges those severely who divide his land and people of Israel. William Koenig's book was all about the disasters that happened to America on the day or the day after America done a political act that would in actual fact divide Israel and Jerusalem. Now, I don't think it's any surprise that just after this Board of Peace is gotten together and once again brought instability to Israel and the Jewish people through having tyrants who are mass murderers sitting comfortably on their chairs at the Board of Peace. Now, I don't think it's any surprise that an historic winter storm across huge portions of the US has hit. A powerful winter storm has blanketed much of the country from south and Midwest to the northeast, with heavy snow, sleet, ice, and dangerously low temperatures. Over 200 million people across dozens of states have been affected. Snow totals have reached up to 18 to 30 inches in some areas, with ice accumulation making roads slick and travel treacherous. Arctic air has followed the storm, leading to extreme cold warnings and continuing threats of severe conditions. Widespread power outages and travel chaos. The storm has disrupted infrastructure and transportation nationwide. Hundreds to thousands to nearly a million people are without electricity in multiple states due to ice-damaged lines and equipment failures. Air travel has been heavily hit, with thousands of flights cancelled across the hubs. Road and transit systems are impacted by snow and ice, prompting closures and remote work school orders in some regions. Public safety and reported fatalities. The extreme weather has posed serious risks to health and safety. At least 30 deaths have been attributed to storm-related causes, including hypothermia, accidents on icy roads, and other cold weather incidents. Emergency services and the National Guard have been mobilised in some cities to assist with rescues and support communities under stress. Significant and economic impacts. Beyond human effects, the storm has broader economic consequences. Commerce and supply chains are disrupted because business have shut or slowed operations in dangerous conditions. The reduced output in energy sectors, particularly in oil and gas production, has also been reported as a result of the freezing conditions in key facilities. The overall context: this event isn't just a short-lived disturbance. Forecasters' live monitoring indicates that cold air and winter weather hazards may persist for the coming days, with potential for further snow and ice in some areas. So you see, my friends, the reason that America has been hit so quickly after Donald Trump got together the Board of Peace is because God is deadly serious that he will not let any man divide his land, and America will be judged more heavily because America is the only other nation other than Israel that made a founding covenant with the God of Israel. So I say we need to rethink this Board of Peace, because the people sitting on the Board of Peace are bored of peace because half of them are at war. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.